so for the talking of today, we can introduce our special guest, who is Jana Svobodová, who is a stage director from Prague, who has also directed Accent, the international festival of the documentary theater since
many years ago.
Many years ago, yes. And we would also like to welcome you as our guest in this project launched by the Fondazione Campania, the festival, about the Festival for Peace. Now, this is the claim of our project, which has started on the 1st of March with a series, a cycle of digital meetings in favor of peace in Ukraine. And we also want to thank you for your participation, for your support to this project. With the aim of expressing deep solidarity with the cultural organization, but also artists and all the civil society who is involved now in the peace building processes in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And so I want to start with the first question we have for you for today. Are you now in contact with artists who belong to the Ukrainian cultural sector, theater, cinema sector? And what do you think? What scenarios will develop in the next coming weeks?
Well, right after the conflict started, I immediately wrote to our collaborator who lives in Lviv, which is Western Ukraine. And I wrote him, look, because we did not know what will happen. So it's a guy who was a student of our international summer school, but at the same time, he's running independent, quite engaged theater in Lviv. I can send you later the name of that theater and organization. And he's totally engaged and absolutely great guy who's working with the local community beside and gathering artists. And I gave a lecture last year online because if it was still impossible because of COVID travel there. So I wrote him and I told him, look, whatever you need, just come over or bring your family. And I did not have any answer because I think these guys immediately after the first night when the conflict started, they became to be absolutely engaged with people escaping from Eastern Ukraine. So I tried to contact him again, but again, no answer. So this is something we must believe that guys are okay in Lviv. They have it's not bombed that much, but they have I think they are extremely busy with the wave of Ukrainian refugees now. And actually at Archa Theater, we will organize a concert of Ukraine singer. I think this is very, in our country, many activities it's happening. But main thing, we are not so focusing on art now. We are focusing on helping people. So Archa as an organization offered the studio and dormitory and other places for people escaping to accommodate them. So we have already our dormitory full after a week, and we offered also the bigger space for other people coming, because now we almost are not handling it's thousands of people, it's 100,000 refugees. So I think our role now as artists, it's like help to people, and then when we will have kids and women, because it is the major group of people, I would like to organize kind of club where women and kids will meet, and friends, not necessarily artists, it can be volunteers who will come and just play with them and talk, just make them more comfortable. So at the moment we are gathering furniture, mattresses, food, whatever people need, because people who are a little bit available or have hands young people are organizing sleeping places, and equipping places for them to sleep. So this is our situation now. So art, I think, will come a little later.
So do you think that also culture has to be engaged in this moment?
Absolutely. And it will be, and I think people are thinking, and as I said, we have to think.
Switch this.
Also these beneficents, also concerts, we will organize at Archa big concert as a beneficent. So this is something what we can do now, but later I think it will bring, we don't know, simply. We don't know, because, for instance, myself and Archa, we are focusing on documentary theater, but it's not time yet, because we now does not make sense to stress that there's a war. We need to see what people are bringing with them, what they are, carrying with them, and then something can be done. Now it's, concerts to get money. Now they need money, they need guns, it's very sad, but they need to fight now. And women must be safe, so warm and food. And I think bringing food, reading books, drawing with kids, this will be a role of art and role of artists now. And after half a year, we will see, or after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we don't know yet. Because it's now we are kind of, I don't know how to say it, because people are more worried now, because Putin, they say literally that Putin got crazy. So he's very unpredictable, and his targets are really people, not army bases. So this is very much frightening, and maybe this is the second level of invasion, because it's like this is unbelievable. You see it also in news that people are literally running from burning houses, and many citizens already died, and targets are kids, families, houses. So this seemed to me like more frightening. But I'm not an expert on wars, and but this is bigger. Definitely it's bigger. And when they say that this is actually Third World War, this is the moment he wants to change the geography of the world, which seems like he's doing. But on the other hand, they say nobody knows what he wants. So it's a little like,
The second question I have for you is, how can artists continue to encourage a dialogue in a conflict situation?
Mm-hmm.
What they can do for help?
I think will be very important to show or to keep connection with artists in Ukraine, and so they know that we are here, and they always have someone to get connected with. And I don't mean help now, I mean the network. Which was already existing network, or we can create new relationships, because Ukraine has strong independent scene. And at our international summer school, we had incredible people from Ukraine. Because they are engaged, they know why they do their art, because they are more in danger than us in terms of democratical values. They have the danger always there. So they are very brave and strong, and their topics are very strong. So I think it's very important that they know that we are all the time with them, and they always have us here for dialogue, for help, for anything. So I would say any person in this, Western part of the world should keep the contact as much as possible with them, if they would reply, because as I told you, Bogdan, I mentioned him, he's really close person to me, and he did not reply. So I think they don't have absolutely mind now to think about art. I don't think this is an issue now, but it will be very soon. And I think we must wait for the right moment to be there for them, for dialogue, for, I mean, also mental help or whatever help. It can be money help, whatever. But, you know, this is the network for. Not really art. I think now, for instance, create a project or travel with lecture does not make sense now. Yeah, now it's just a connection, that the connection, they should know that connection was not interrupted. It's there, whatever happens, yeah, whatever happens, because I believe that mental or artistic connection cannot die because of this huge conflict. It's above that. So they just need to know that we are here. So keep the network fresh and try to be in touch as much as possible through organizations or through individual connections. Everybody's doing something. Yeah. So I cannot tell you exactly what people are doing, but everybody is engaged. So people are engaged on many levels. So some person is sending money, some person accommodates people, and us, and we are organizing that concert, which will be, one will be Czech artists for Ukraine, and the other one will be concert of Ukraine singer, which will be on both places, Slovakia, Bratislava and Prague. And it's very new, it's from yesterday.
Yeah. I want to ask you something about the language, because on our last meeting we have talked a lot about which are the words, which are the correct words for talking about war. We had a talking with the Lithuanian directors and actor, and they said it's not a crisis, what is happening in Ukraine, but is a war.
Yeah, it's a war, yeah.
Yes, so I want to ask you something about how the media in your country are talking about this.
Yeah, it's a good question, because we are, of course, a post-communist country. Yeah. When under communist time, we were completely under power of Russia. And it's not a secret that our president was always pro-Russian, you know, so but what's happening now about the vocabulary, about how to call it, our authorities literally call it war and invasion. So it's war and invasion into the free country of Ukraine. And because we witnessed this kind of invasion in 1968, we are very sensitive as a nation, you know, as we know, Putin, it's not allowed to say the word war, or the word war, and people go to prison or they are persecuted when they say it. So in our country, we are absolutely clear about it. It's war and it's invasion. And our authorities, even our president, is pro-Russian, and he's sort of like friend of Putin. So he surprised all of us that he uses this, I mean, proper vocabulary. But yesterday I was listening to the political debate, when they were sort of like doubting what he means, because till last week he would not say that. So there's lots of politics, but I mean, vocabulary, it's just clear in our country. It's clear. It's war, invasion, unfair, and all our nation, all our government, everybody here, it's for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And even when there are people demonstrating for Russia, you know, but it's a act of crime. They can go for 3 years to the prison in our country when they are now demonstrating against Ukraine. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, we are really, really strongly for Ukraine as a nation, as a political, I mean, government, and everybody. So we don't doubt that it's a war. Unfortunately, it is a war, right? And we are afraid that the border, and of course we are so close that if he would win, they say they will go further here, right? They will continue. So the whole Europe is freaking out, and they are afraid to attack the how to say air, you know, the because, you know, they don't know what would happen.
And I want to finally ask you about two things. If you as an artist still trust the values of freedom, democracy, maybe also in this situation, this sad situation, how can people prompt to trust the cultural institution and the values?
I think because I have very fresh experience, we did not go to theater much and to cultural places, you know, because of COVID. But through the past 2 weeks, I did my show. I visited many other places. People are eager to meet, and I think the role of I don't know, I mean, other cultural places, but theater as an important place of sharing values in one space, in the same time, I mean, watching something or being present together, you know, that being together and share something together, I think has really great value as any time when something very serious was happening in our history, because, you know, people need to share and people need to feel that they are together, because it's dividing people, you know, people after COVID, you know, we were, you know, like solo people at home, but now I feel huge tendency to be together. We have big audience, I feel like different audience. People are very, very sensitive to many things. What I experienced through the past 2 weeks. So I think the role, especially of live art, when people are meeting on a certain place and they have the common experience together, will have really big power, I think.
Yeah. And my last question is, according to you, can the artistic community create another storytelling, another narrative of this phenomenon?
You mean war or?
Yeah. Yes, the war.
Definitely. I think it will happen. I was thinking about it already because, you know, it's like immediately you start somehow translating it and thinking what you can do, what will be your narrative, what will be your language, what's needed. Like during the Second World War, everybody was creating comedies, you know, because people had to, you know, relax. It's not time now, you know, not yet. Yeah, hopefully it will not come. But I mean, I think it will bring big themes. And I believe in an individual strengths, and you cannot solve the whole world, but you can put the weight to each single person, because each single person is in danger now. It's not like Ukraine is a whatever, it can be many things, but each single person running, hiding, frightened, and each person like this has strong story, right? So I think it's about individuals and their lives and the trust that each of us has value. Each of us, not people who are, I mean, rich or beautiful, or I don't know, people who are fancy or popular. No, any forgotten
of us.
Anybody. So I think this is role of art, especially social engaged art we are doing. So because we are focusing on those who are forgotten, who are on the edge, and we give them voice and we give them space to share their stories and their lives through theater. So I think this is again very, very needed, and it will be needed a lot. You know, it will be the point, I think, because empty art, beautiful, whatever, I don't think people will be interested now. People will be more thinking about the topics and the meaning of what they are doing, you know. And we will have lots of new people here in our country, a lot. They will not speak language, you know. They will speak either Ukrainian or Russian. It's another strange thing. In Ukraine, they speak Russian. So imagine this is the same language.
They speak the same language.
It's the same language. This is unbelievable. So I believe in this.
It's quite a civil war. It's quite a civil war between countries, Russian speaking. So thank you, Jana.
Thank you, Leana.
Thank you very much. Yes, it was my pleasure, and I was happy that I could participate. And if you have anything, I mean, going on, just let me. I'm really, really proud that I could contribute and share with you my thoughts, because we are in it, and we will proceed. You know, we will also find our role, and it's now very fresh. You know, everything is so new. Our, you know, prices are going up, I think, everywhere. And prices in stores, you know, we have like, I mean, food and everything is going up, and gas, of course, everywhere, I think. So
we hope that this conflict will end very soon, and we hope to see you again here in
Yes, we hope we see each other. Yes, of course, and we will fight with our art.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you,
Jana. Thank you very much, Jana.
Have a nice evening, and bye. Thank you.
Bye, Jana.
Ciao.